Hi, Mick Goedeken here again with Orthman Manufacturing with another segment of what happened on the research farm in 2021. Today, I want to talk about the foliar application trials that we did. We conducted a couple different trials on corn and soybeans in 2021. When I think about foliar nutrients, timing is critical. The content is critical. Foliar nutrients have been added for several years. We need to make sure when we apply those that we're applying those at the right time for the plant and the right nutrients so that what we are applying it can be utilized with that plant. For 2021, we actually applied on June 28th. We applied two different products, Powerade from QLF, NutriSync Complete 3D from Loveland Products is the other one that we did. The Powerade is all micronutrients, and it's a good concentration of a lot of micronutrients. Probably more boron than what we typically see, and more manganese and zinc than we typically see in these products. NutriSync 3D is a nitrogen, phosphate, potassium-based product with some micronutrients carried along. The nitrogen is a methylated urea or a slow-release nitrogen product. Typically, those products we like to see, myself, agronomically, I like to see a slow-release end product later in the corn plant's life, say around tassel time. But micronutrients, and we're talking about a corn plant, the micronutrients need to be placed into that corn plant around that B4 to B6 time range. Now, is that the time that they're needing them? Yes, to some extent, but no to other extents. You think about a lot of these micronutrients move very slowly in the plant. They're hard to translocate. So they may be best when applied at that time, but they're actually using them later in that corn plant's life. And getting them into that plant too late will result in not as much effectiveness of those trials or of those products. So let's look into the results, and I'm going to tell you, we were off on timing. We were close to we were V10, almost V11 at this point in time that we did this in late June. We needed to be doing this about 2 to 3 weeks earlier. We look at it, we did it in two different hybrids. We did it in our 1185 and we did it in our 1082. So if we look at our results in the 1185, our check was 264, our Powerade was 267, moderate increase of 3 bushel. Our NutriSync, we didn't see the increase, we actually went backwards. Do we truly go backwards by adding a product? I don't think so. I honestly think that we had some other variables in that field that those 8 rows were just a little bit less quality, didn't have the nutrient availability that where we did at the check. I think, it probably considered a wash, but to be completely transparent, we left it as a negative 3 bushel decrease. So if we look at the revenue change, both of these products in this instance on 1185 cost us money to put on. Is that going to be the case every time? Absolutely not. I think a lot of the problem was the timing issue here. We put them on too late. Didn't get some of those nutrients, be able to use those in time for the corn plant. We look at our 1082, check was 291.4, our Powerade was 296, and then 292 on the NutriSync. So a very, very minute increase with the NutriSync on the 1082. Certainly didn't go backwards, but we only saw 0.6 of a bushel. The Powerade gave us 5 bushel. So the Powerade, in this instance, paid for itself. gave us an additional net revenue of $6.65. This is more likely what we would see. I think that we're still a little bit too late. If we would have been a little bit earlier, would we have seen a better increase? Absolutely. Now let's talk about, on average, we look at it and we're Powerade's giving us 4.1, NutriSync negative 1.3. Can I compare these two products? Not really, because the timings weren't right, but these were the results that we had in 2021. We did see on average a positive net revenue for the Powerade and negative net revenue for the NutriSync. I think that we need to refine these trials and do the timing in them, get them applied in a more timely manner for next year, or for the year 2022. So when we look at the soybean trials, and the same things happen with the soybeans, we applied the same time on June 28th, the same two products. Now I'm going to say on soybeans, my experience is that the foliars, the later we are in that plant's life, the more bang for our buck, or the more response we're going to see. The responses typically that are best in that late R3, early R4 time frame. The same time frame that we would be applying a fungicide to our soybeans. So it makes sense to find a co-partner to put these on and not waste the trip. So we'll look at the results, and you can see the picture on the left here. These soybeans are tiny. We're spraying a lot of that foliar on the ground. We aren't even near canopy at this point in time when this application was made. So that's another reason to apply that a little bit later in that soybeans life cycle. If we look at the results here, the check was 93 bushel. We only had one replication here. The Powerade was 93 bushel, actually 9/10 of a bushel less. The NutriSync was 3/10 of a bushel more at 94.2. Neither one of these products would have paid for themselves in this trial here. Once again, I say that if we would have moved these to a later time frame, we probably would have seen better results. This is what we need to do for 2022. Going forward, we need to get our timing more correct on our foliar applications. If we want to test foliar products, we have to do it with the correct timing. If we test these same products in 2022 and have the correct timing and get the same results, then I'll move on and look for different products. But I don't think these are bad products. The analysis on them tells me that they're good products, that they will work. We just need to get the timing correct. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest in watching our videos. Be safe out there and have a great day.